Hello and welcome. Today we've got Mark Attwood and his testimonial guests, and we are going to be discussing about a course that Mark Attwood has started called Maximize the Light in Your Cosmic Suit in 90 Days. Now, just before we begin, you can subscribe to our Telegram channels and to nicholasveniamin.com for my free email updates. And if you're watching this for the first time on YouTube, I will leave the link below in the description for the full interview, unless, of course, myself and the guests can choose our words wisely due to the insane censorship that's happening right now. Mark, thank you for joining me. How are you and what have you been up to?
Good to see you again, Nick. I thought you introduced Mark Attwood and his testicles then. I had to think twice about that. So this course is called Maximize the Light in Your Cosmic Suit in 90 Days. And down there, or wherever he is on the screen, is Jeremy Ayres. Now, Jeremy is one of the co-authors of the Red Pill Revolution book, which is a brilliant book. And we got to know each other over the last year. And I went to visit Jeremy in the UK before Christmas, and he took one look at me. And he's been healing people for 30 years using his advanced knowledge, which is basically the opposite of everything that you get told to do to stay healthy. And he looked at me, and he was thinking, he's a bit of a fat bastard. That's what I think he was thinking. And he looked at me and he said, I'm going to challenge him to do this course, which is basically to save my life, because I've been running on adrenaline, overweight, doing my best, but like a lot of us, under huge amounts of stress, doing the shows, doing all the stuff that we've been doing. And it took him a week to ring me up and say, I'm going to challenge you to do this, because he needed to do it as well. And then we said, well, let's see if anybody else wants to do it. And we've got 450 people doing it. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4 people here who are doing it with us at the moment. Right. And we just want to share the news, because it's a 90-day challenge and we're about 45 days into it, myself and Jeremy. And what we're seeing is just off the charts profound, like, health changes beyond belief. I mean, I'm 10 kilograms down in the first 45 days, energy through the roof. And Jeremy's going to explain this in more scientific detail, but there's literally more light in our bodies, because we're trying to prepare ourselves for the end of this war and the rebuilding work that we've got to do, and we've got to be in good shape. So I think Jeremy can fill you in better on how he's doing this and why he's doing it and what the protocol actually contains. But that's basically what we're doing.
Excellent. Well, I would love to hear Jeremy. Jeremy, why don't you tell us about the concept of this course?
Yeah, well, just some clarity. When I did see Mark, my first thoughts were, there's a man with small testicles, and I felt I could help, but the weight was secondary issues, but maybe those miracles will happen, who knows? But in all seriousness, I'm 30 years doing what I do. I've been very fortunate to have very great mentors early on. And I guess the most critical thing that those people gave me was the ability to question, and especially if it challenges you. So over the last 30 years of extensive research and experience and case history taking, I would say I've learned the hidden secrets mostly to getting people well from almost anything you can imagine, because the crux of this course is that there really isn't disease, there is only dis-ease. Now, that might sound all fluffy and new age to people if they haven't come across it before, but having helped so many, thousands and thousands, and you can see some of the testimonials from other doctors and clients on my website, but having helped so many, I can honestly tell you that the crux ultimately is mental emotional trauma. Although most people have heard about toxicity, and I'm quite well known for saying you're not sick, you're toxic. So it's brought all the elements together. And in this course that we've set up, I've written a general protocol, which is full of links to lectures and things, all very, common sense stuff, just to put all the jigsaw pieces together. And it's essentially 30 years of my knowledge trying to be condensed into a 90-day course. And why 90 days? Because in my experience, even with the worst possible cases that you can imagine, those that have been given no hope, after 90 days, enough has changed if they follow what I teach, that it's extremely clear to them that they're changing course in their health. And even in this, we're about 40 days in, some of the people that started with us, we've seen extraordinary changes, a lot of roller coaster, which we'd expect, but generally increasing that way. And I guess the crux of why it's called Maximize the Light is, I would say the true researchers, and particularly the Russians, have worked out that we are light beings. The Russians have done enormous amounts of work on looking into how the body holds light. And they even have diagnostic cameras now where you can see, which is probably the earliest detection diagnostic equipment available at this time. You can actually see where someone's leaking light. Now, if someone's listening to this right now and they're like, I'm not quite sure what he's talking about, one of the first questions we ask is, how's your energy out of 10? Now, most people that come to me, and many of those now are under 20 or in their early 20s, will say 2 out of 10. And if you're sitting out there and going, it's 8 out of 10, part of the initial course is taking away the stimulants, the coffees, the energy drinks, the sugar, this sort of thing. And the reason we do that is because it will actually show your true energetic state. And most people are running on adrenals and stress and fight or flight. So when you've taken that away, I think you'll find most people's energy is around about 3 to 4 out of 5, if that. And that's indicative of the voltage of the cell. Now, the body is electric. It has the ability to hold light. And how it holds light is by its charge on the cell membrane. And so if yours is very low, and most people's are, you literally cannot hold electrons to it. And the electrons attract the light, which are photons. So we're going complex over there. But ultimately, we are in... I would say, a spiritual war on this plane, have been for a very long time. And the whatever you want to call them, the cabal, the corporates, whatever word resonates with you, there's one thing that absolutely we can agree on, and that is their behavior towards humanity is psychopathic. And then one could argue that it's evil. Well, evil is the word live backwards. And when you actually discover what I've looked at for the last 30 years, you find they've flipped, and I don't mean everything upside down. So when we can show that in a way that, all people can understand, then they can choose that it makes sense and they start to apply it. Wonderful things that for many will seem miraculous start to happen. And ultimately they start to hold more light. When you hold more light, you literally shine it on this realm that we're in, whatever that is. And we expose more of, shall we say, the darkness, the corruption, whatever you want to describe. And that's what this is really about.
I like that. So that's basically, we have to shine bright so we can expose the darkness by being the lights. Is that right, Jeremy? That's the ultimate goal, isn't it?
Absolutely. Because if many people listening may be very, very ill, or very, very depressed, or very, very frightened, or commonly cannot see a bright future after this scamdemic that, as far as we're concerned, having done 2 years of broadcasting, exposing the evidence is a genocidal act against humanity. But we'll put that to one side for another day. But when you get people who are unwell, ill, diagnosed or not, or awake, and a lot of your listeners, I'm sure, are awake, many of them are very dark in their thoughts. It's very difficult for them to see a bright future. And you find that their energy levels match that ability to hold light. So as you change this, and as you change your voltage and you start to see this difference in energy and your sleep and waking up feeling more refreshed, more recharged, you find you can hold more light. Well, we see this over and over again. Their thoughts become brighter. Their ability to see a brighter future strengthen. And so this is not just fluffy, New Age or whatever you want to call it, go to my testimonials page, talk to people I work with, and talk to some of these good people who are in differing stages through the course.
So, Jeremy, I want to touch a little bit on this New Age thing, because I have spoken to a few people and they always refer to this term called New Age. Would you say that's equivalent to what the deep state have created when we're speaking about the term conspiracy theorist? Is New Age the same sort of different term, of equivalence to throw people off from the truth? What do you think about that?
It's an excellent question. I think that there is. So look, the entities or people that we're dealing with that have created all the problems and have interfered with mankind and their ancestral ways, and to degrees that many people can't even begin to fathom, are many things, but stupid is not one of them. So they have created all kinds of narratives and sub-narratives to create all kinds of rabbit holes and disinformation, misinformation. And it's very challenging for people to get ultimately to the truth. I don't like labels. I don't like boxes. I don't like the words, conspiracy theorist or liberal or whatever it is, right? And I'm not really interested in messages, because throughout my 30 years, I've had to listen to all kinds of people, religious, atheist, wackos, the whole thing, but all of them have had some gold nuggets in there to grab. And hopefully I've brought perhaps some of the best of those together so that we can stop the titles New Age or alternative medicine or whatever labels, and we can just look at it on the merit and the quality of the information. And if that resonates with you, and a lot of it won't, a lot of it will challenge you. But if it resonates enough and makes common sense, and you try it and give it a period of at least 90 days, I'm confident you will start to see a dramatic improvement in your physical health, B, a dramatic improvement in your energy and your ability to hold light, and then C, your ability to discern truth from bullshit, because I believe there's a resonance with truth, and it's guided me long enough, and I think it can guide everyone else. When your harmonics in your body are in tune with nature, which you can't escape. You can't escape the frequencies of this realm. Most people are fighting them, and this is why the corporates, the cabal, the elite, whatever you want to call them, bombard us with digital resonances instead of sine waves, which are found in nature, digital colors like we're in now instead of fractals in nature, which is why the Japanese forest therapy, where they take suicidal executives, is so powerful, because the harmonics of birdsong and the fractals of nature. And basically what we've got to do is try and clear away the noise and get the body back to being harmonically resonating with nature, with the different harmonics that we're experiencing. And more importantly, the amount of light that has been predicted by the Mayans and many for aeons, that is now hitting where we are. And as far as I can see, we're doing a pretty good job out there. The world's getting pretty interesting on a very positive way. And I think this war which we're in is definitely going to be won. And as Mark knows, my recent catchphrase is, we are going to build back better, but without them. And I think we all know who them are.
Right. Jeremy, could you break down the course for me? So, are we looking at dietary as well? Are we looking at maybe music, meditation, reading? Can you tell us what's involved in this course, and what, the people or the members participating in this course need to go through to make that, to make that difference for themselves and expand or increase their light, if you like?
Yeah. Okay. What I will say, because I think it's more valuable, is in my experience, having only helped people with dis-ease, is what we have to do is a subtraction method first, because most people have no idea of their body communicating with them. It's very toned down, or they've ignored it. They've been educated to not listen to it and to go to a quote unquote doctor who I think are just, I know there's some good ones, but basically they're legalized drug dealers. But they have never been taught to listen to their body. And most don't even know what I'm talking about. So one of the methods I was taught by the great Barbara Wren, who was my second mentor, is basically the subtraction method, which we, rather than look at food as good or bad, which is how the world talks, oh my God, that's bad for you. Oh my God, I've cheated. Isn't that sinful? And those kind of sort of almost Catholic guilt words. We want to really change the language and the conversation to how challenging is it? So we'll just start with food before things. And so if we look at a hierarchy of how challenging it is for your digestive system to actually try and do something with what you put in your gob, we have to start with wheat and grains. And it is by far the most challenging thing for your body to do something with and arguably get any nutritional benefit whatsoever. So any challenge to the body is stressful. And so what we're trying to do is show the degree of what is challenging to least, down to least challenging, give options, 4 options of dietary choices, and then off you go. And then what people will discover, just on the dietary point, is usually about 30 days in, there is sometimes 7. There is such a tremendous difference in their body and their digestive system. Usually bloating goes away. If they even knew they had it before, usually gas goes away. Normally their stomach gets flatter. There's usually quite significant weight loss, and they start to feel really in tune with the digestive system. Then they fall off the wagon. In fact, most people jump off the wagon, right? And they have what they call, what I call the fuck it moment. Sorry, you might need to end that. And they go, fuck it, I'm having a pizza, right? I'm doing so well. And they have a pizza or whatever, some toast, and their stomach blows up like a balloon. And they're like, oh my God, and this is what I'm after. They start to hear their body. So it's not whether I'm right or whether I'm a salesman or wrong or misguided or whatever it is. It's their body is now talking to them, and there's no going back after that. I mean, they have the right to remain stupid, but by now they go, why would I want to feel this bad? So that starts to grow and extenuate into smoking, drugs, alcohol, and whatever other things you've put into your body, and whatever drug you've chosen of choice, legal or otherwise, including pharmaceutical drugs. I just dropped the P, and let's call them what they are with a few exceptions. And so that is fundamentally what I wanted to achieve in the first 90 days. But we've also brought into it, and I'm so pleased so many hear that message, is all the other interferences, which is EMF, Wi-Fi, artificial light, blue light, and so on, which most people have heard of, but they don't really pay any attention until they start to get their asses outside into sunlight and start to reduce their artificial light exposure. Now, when they do that, they will start to improve their health and well-being dramatically quickly. And as many have noticed, when there's someone suddenly come in and flicked a light back on at night, or they put their iPad on, which hasn't got the filter on, it's literally like a vampire withdrawing from the light. And they didn't know that before. And they've done it for 20, 30 years. So it's all about not am I right? Am I clever? Am I knowledgeable or whatever? It's about, is what I'm sharing with you true? And the only way you can do that is to look at it, think about it, question it, action it, and see for yourself. And I'm confident you all will.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Jeremy. Why don't we move on to the testimonials, and we'll start with Fraser. Fraser, why don't you tell us what your experience is in this course, how long you've been, a part of this course, and what's your favorite part, and how has it helped you?
Wow. I'm actually only on day 4. I was talking to our friend Diana's actually on the call on Saturday, so 6 days ago. And she was saying how wonderful it was, and She's never had anything like it before. And I just thought, well, give it a go. Tried a lot of the things and put on loads of weight recently. So wanted to look at something else. And I think joined Tuesday morning or Monday night and started Tuesday morning and went full gung ho. And having been like a pescatarian for many, many years and sort of like, guess I'm being bloated from it. I've gone full meat, so full carnivore, which is a shock. My vices were chocolate, ice cream, and coffee, and I've given them all up. And I feel absolutely fantastic. I feel fabulous. I'm walking on the beach every morning, doing a little bit of a vlog for everybody, getting blown to pieces, but loving every minute of it. But it's really interesting because it completely, everything that we thought we knew, everything I thought I knew, it's just been blown away. And the thing is, with the group, with Jeremy, with Mark, everybody's there for everybody else, and everybody's helping each other. If there's questions, people answering them, and it's amazing. I mean, even so far as Jeremy talked about the light before, one of the recommendations, one of the things that they say is about there's a bit of software called Iris, which you can download to your PC, I guess, or laptop, whatever, and it changes the light on your monitors, so there's not as much flickering. I was watching one of the replays of the night, and we had the red screen on, so it's like a sleeping screen. And then I put my iPad on. Like Jeremy says, I nearly fell out of bed because it was just like, what the hell is that? So it's not just about changing what you eat. It's about going outside, looking at the light and everything else. It's just amazing. I can't thank the guys enough. And even on day 4, I can see the difference. I can feel the difference. Excellent.
Well, thank you very much, Fraser, for sharing that with us. Karine, why don't we go with you and ask you what your experience was and what's your favorite part of it and how it's affected you? You might want to unmute. Sorry.
So you can hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Sorry. There are many favorite parts. I totally agree with Fraser that what is really wonderful is the chat group that we have, that everybody's supporting each other and sharing experiences and sharing advice or good recipes or giving a pep talk if necessary. What I totally changed my daily rhythm. Before I would watch, for example, your Truther videos and Mark's late at night because my whole family is vaxxed, so I had to do this when they go asleep. So I would go to bed way too late, get up too late, lose hours in the day. And now I go up just after sunrise. I walk outside in the park on my bare foot because of grounding that I was also told by Jeremy. And I feel wonderful. And now in the evening, I become tired at 10:30 and I go to bed in normal hours. I have much more energy. I also went full carnivore that I'd never done before because everybody around me is vegan or vegetarian. So this is a big taboo to eat only meat. And I have so much more energy. Small ailments that I had or stiff joints while walking is completely gone. I have much more flexibility in my joints. I run up the stairs. And also my brain is less foggy. I'm thinking faster and clearer. And I'm winning the board games that I play with my kids. That's not so important. But that's how I notice that really something changes in my brain. So I'm so incredibly grateful that I'm doing this. It is life-changing. And it is true that it teaches us how to connect with your body more and to listen and feel what your body is telling you. So then you have to act on that. Yeah.
So how long have you been in this course for? How long have you been doing it for?
I'm on day 35, so a little over a month now. Yeah. And
wow.
Sometimes you get a Herxheimer reaction. Then you're detoxifying so quickly that you actually feel a little bit less good. But then it also gives me the, at least something is happening, and the body is cleansing.
Sure. Well, Karine, thank you very much for sharing that with us. Ron, you've got your microphone on mute, but I want to ask you now, how long have you been on this course for, and how has it affected you, and what do you like about it?
I've been on it for about 10 days now. And it's from about sort of day 5, I start to get a lot of clarity in my head, and I've been writing a book, and I've been like 3,000 words a day is no problem. And normally it was just impossible because you were relying on coffee really to fuel your body. And that's what my biggest issue was I knew I was fueling myself in coffee, but it got to a habit where that I knew it was actually draining me more. So I had to do something about it. So I just, this course came along at the right time for me. And I mean, my energy since giving up coffee has went through the roof. And I always say to people, like, when they ask me, say, Ron, why are you not drinking coffee anymore? And I say, well, I enjoy my tea and I have my snake juice. And that's what gets me by. And, oh, what's that? What's that? I says, well, maybe you should join the course. It's like the Red Pill Revolution, and get involved in it. And what I like about Jeremy is not the fact that he's English or Mark is English, but I like the fact that he's going to make this a course. And my background is I've been in the diet and fitness industry for all my life, basically. And I've tried every diet out, but this one totally resonates with me. And I think that I'll be the first person to sign up for this course for sure. And then I'll be able to transfer that to my clients, because if you want to transfer something to your client, you've got to be the one that does it itself and be the testimony itself. I've never really had a problem with weight issues. My weight's always been stable because I've known which I thought I knew what to eat, but I knew things were like, okay, I could have a pizza now and again, and my stomach would blow up. But I haven't had alcohol for 8 years, so it's not a problem with me. I know where I get my fuel from. So that's my testimony, and I thanks again, Jeremy and Mark, for putting this together.
Ron, thank you.
Can I just say something? Monique, who is the wonderful admin and doing all the work, I thought we had a filter to stop Scottish people joining, but okay, we'll let this one through.
Jeremy, he's not really Scottish. He hasn't had a drink in 8 years. He's
oh well, yeah. But anyway, we let one through, and it's okay. We'll get some counselling. We'll be all right.
Thank you, Jeremy. That was very good. Monique, why don't we move on to you and tell us your testimonial and what's it done for you, and how long have you been part of this course?
Well, so I started about 3 or 4 days after Jeremy and Mark. So I'm about 40 days in. I joined it for pretty much the opposite reason of most people, in that I need to put on weight rather than.
Your sound is off there, Monique. I'm really sorry to say that. Am I the only one?
No, she cuts off.
Yeah, no, just stop for some reason.
Hold on, I can't hear you.
You're back.
What on earth?
Can you hear me, Monique? Can you hear me now? Mark, can you hear me?
I can hear you, and I can hear Monique.
Yeah.
But
I can't hear you.
You can't hear us now.
Suddenly.
Loose wire somewhere.
Okay, Monique, do you want to say that again? Can you hear me?
Well, while Monique's trying to resolve that problem, and hopefully she can, because what's beautiful about Monique's case is, like so many that I've helped, like Monique,
Battery,
I'll just
30%.
Yeah, no, I think maybe we should just mute Monique until she sorted the problems out. But
okay, does someone want to call her on cell phone and just let her know that we are moving on to another testimonial until we have her issue resolved?
Okay.
Right.
Thank you.
So with Monique, that most people are overweight or issues around that, and so they tend to think this. And of course, everyone wants to talk about the diet, but it is so much more with the light and the emotions and all the other things that we teach. But in Monique's case, and I've had plenty, including anorexics, Monique just couldn't put weight on no matter what she did. And it's actually the same problem, but in an opposite way, which is the food choice, which she was mainly plant-based, was she just not digesting the food properly. And so she wasn't absorbing it. So constantly hungry, constantly eating, never able to put weight on. And you start to fall into this, I've got high metabolism. No, she wasn't digesting food and she wasn't absorbing it. So she actually decided also, and there is 4 dietary choices, and from plant-based, which I do not believe is optimal, because we're not good at digesting plants, contrary to what the world is telling you, all the way through to keto, up to carnivore, which is fatty meat, fish, eggs, and that sort of thing, which is controversial to many and puts many off, which is a shame, because most of these people here had never done it, and when they do it, it's just extraordinary. But Monique decided to go full carnivore with fish, and very quickly her digestion improved like it never done before, and she started to put healthy weight back on, and her energy and her brain, and she's got a brilliant brain anyway, but she would probably tell you if her mic comes back, her brain was not working like it used to, and now it's not only working really well, she's able to give Mark some shit, because he certainly was giving her some before he chilled out a bit.
Go on, Monique.
Thanks for doing the job for me, Jeremy. Yeah, so within about 3 weeks, I put on 4.5 kilos on this program and realised actually that Jeremy was quite right. I hadn't been absorbing a lot of my nutrition for a very long time. The other really lovely thing is that eating full carnivore has reminded me of how much I always loved fat and fatty sauces, which I grew up with in Belgium, as my mother was a gourmet cook. I mean, she's alive, but she doesn't cook like that anymore. But it's just beautiful, really, and very simple. That's the other thing I love about it. It's, you have a piece of meat or some fish, and that's your food sorted for the day. Don't really need to worry about it.
Well, Monique, thank you very much for sharing that with us. And Jeremy, thank you so much for supporting her when her microphone was on mute.
Thank you.
Diane, how about you? Let's move on over onto you. What's your favorite part of this course, and how has it affected you?
Well, I'm a bit of a health junkie. I've been in the business all my life. I've done so many courses, herbal courses, natural, homeopathy. I've done just everything. And when I saw this course talked about maximize your light, I really that appealed to me, because it wasn't just nutrition and exercise and things. We're energetic beings, and I think it's important to look at every aspect. And the course is it's better than any I've ever done in 40 years. It's got everything in it. I thought I knew a lot, and I'm doing quite a few of the things that were suggesting. The grounding. I sleep on a grounding sheet. I have a grounding mat here in front of me that I use as a mouse mat. But lots of things. I've just learned so much in such a short time. I just can't believe it. I've been telling everybody about it. Fraser here, who I told on Saturday, and all my friends I'm telling, because being in the health food industry, so many people I know are vegans, vegetarians, and they're not well, and they're just, they're blinkered, and they will not. Cruelty to animals, not only just that, but they just think it's healthier, and they don't realize the harmful things that are in plants. And I didn't actually, I learned about the oxalates and other things. That's a problem with plant-based diets. So many things I did know, like, that are causing me health problems. Bread, which I'm a bread addict, and I gave up bread. And after the first 2 weeks, I just felt wonderful. I'm fairly healthy. I don't have any major problems. But after stop eating bread, eating in the window of 4 to 6 hours, and not, because I just have one meal a day, but it lasts 24 hours. So when I've cut my eating time down and given my body a rest, to let it, to give it a rest and digest things. I've just got so much energy. I'm running up and down the stairs. Normally I'm quite sort of sluggish, and I just want to go and do more classes and things because I've got so much energy. It's just amazing. I love it. And they're so supportive. I really kind of fell off the wagon one day, had a bottle of wine, had some rubbish to eat, and I woke up in the morning, got my iPad on, switched it on, and listened to the diary with Mark and Jeremy and talking about it. And it was like it was for me, it was just for me. And I thought, right, I'm back again. I was thinking, oh, shall I really bother? And straight back on. And, after now 6 weeks, I just feel great. And I just want to tell everybody I read Jeremy's first book, Bread Pill Revolution, when it first came out, loved it. And I'm really excited about the nutrition one coming out. So dying to see that one. So thank you. It's been great.
Well, Diane, thank you so much for sharing that with us. Mark, I have a question for you. So apart from diet, what else is involved in this? If you could tell us, break it down for us in this course.
Well, the kind of work I've been doing over the last couple of years is am I muted? No, I'm not. I was ending the week drinking a couple of bottles of wine. I was staying up late, watching videos, researching. And it's just been exhausting. And one of the big changes for me has been these things, which I wear in the evening now. And my house is covered in red lights. It looks like a Parisian whorehouse in the evenings. I think the neighbors, some of the farmers have been knocking at my door expecting some business, but I've turned them away, fortunately. And that has been amazing. And also learning about the moon. I did a liver flush on the new moon, isn't it? Not the full moon. And that was profound. And one of the other profound things is, like, last weekend, I did my first 48-hour fast, and it was really easy. And this is what's really amazing. And the other thing is that somebody, I can't remember, Monique just said about how it simplifies your food. And the amazing thing is my bin is half empty. It used to be overflowing. Now it's half empty because there's no food waste anymore. There's not food waste. There's no packaging. I'm getting all my stuff from an organic butcher. I've got a great relationship. Their dinner's really easy. And what's even better is that my kids have started following suit. Wow. My eldest son is doing workouts every day. He's got a 6-pack. He was fit anyway, but he's like even fitter. One of my other sons that lives with me was a bit of a sugar fiend, and he was a bit overweight. And he's losing weight. It's dropping off him. He's just done a workout 10 minutes ago because he's seen me every day for now 45 days not have any bread, for example. And we went out for a cafe the other day, and he ordered a burger without the bread. And I was like, and I didn't even tell him to. And this is where it spreads. And the most amazing thing, the big fun part of it, somebody just touched upon the video diaries. And when Jeremy said, let's do this thing, I was like, well, I think maybe a few people would want to do it with us. Then we were absolutely overwhelmed that 450 people are on this thing now. And within a week or two of starting it, I said to Jeremy, I said, this is not a course. This is a movement. And it is, some of the things are a challenge. I mean, there are going to be people commenting underneath this now, slagging us off for eating meat, because the vegans go fucking insane when you say that you've got to eat meat. But the most aggressive people I've met in 2 years of talking about satanic ritual abuse, mass genocide, and all of that, the most shit comments I get are from vegans. And believe me, I used to be one. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow. And the calmness that comes with this, I bounce out of bed 6 a.m. I go in the infrared sauna, which is very cheap. Don't leave comments about that being an expensive thing. They're not. And I go out in nature, and I have one meal a day to think about. I'm going to cook for the kids still, but I have one meal for myself to think about. I'm not drinking any. Don't want to drink alcohol. Don't want it. I've had a couple of drinks with some friends, but that's okay, because I know that the next day I'm going to be on this. I don't really want to. I love fasting. It's a revelation how easy fasting is, and it's just a life changer. And the energy and all my relationships are improving. And you are literally vibrating at a high level, and that's where it gets controversial, because we've been brainwashed to think that when you're eating vegetables, you're eating the light, and it's not true. And that's the biggest hurdle most people have with this thing. But everything else is common sense. Living in rhythm with nature, living in rhythm with the moon, which is extremely important, and being able to do things like liver flushes, which are quite scary until you do them. And if you do them properly, the way it's taught here, and then having fun, we're just having fun. So, I said to Jeremy when we launched it, because he does a live Q&A every Sunday, which is where people, we go on Zoom, we do an hour and a half, and he's just answering questions. Jeremy's overworking himself. Like, he's everybody's bitch on this course, because he won't let anybody's question go unanswered. And Telegram is just rammed all day, blah, 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 and he's there like doing this all day. So massive props to him for putting in so much effort and so much care for everybody on this. And I'm the guinea pig, and I'm the one who brought it to light with him for this. And it's my honor and privilege to do that. But I know that he is saving my life, and it's already positively affecting the lives of my children. And that is, there's no words for that. And the way that we charge for this, but we charge a small amount of money, and people can pay what they want. If they want to pay more, they can pay more and whatever. But we don't want anybody to not be able to access this, because we're putting a lot of effort in. Monique has done an amazing job. Monique works with me. Jeremy keeps trying to steal her off me. He's not getting her. But she's put in an amazing amount of work, and seeing her health improve, it's just beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. And I can't believe I'm sat here in the middle of February talking like this about this kind of thing, because I've talked about health stuff on my channel for a couple of years now. And I paid lip service to a lot of things, and I like gadgets and things like that and things that help you. And I thought I was eating healthily, but to be honest, I was lying to myself. And most people watching this are lying to themselves. We are all lying to ourselves. And the cabal have made it so easy for us to convince ourselves that we're right. And the big thing I want people to take away from watching this video, and by the way, I've given Nicholas a link that hopefully he'll put there. You can all go and check it out and join this course if you want. But the big thing I want everybody to think about is this. If the last 2 years have taught us anything, governments have been lying through their fucking teeth to all of us forever, right? And when you start thinking about 5 a day, got to have your 5 a day to stay healthy, that propaganda has been going on now for 30 plus years. It's all a lie. And if the government tells you to do something, what you should do is the complete opposite. And that's what I think is really important about this course.
Well, Mark Attwood, thank you very much. And the testimonials, thank you so, so much. Jeremy, is there anything else that you would like to say before we finish this interview?
Well, other than to, humbly thank you for even having us all on here. I truly appreciate it. Yes, there is something very important I want to say. And that is, no one is told to do anything. There is not, this is right. This is what I have experienced. And even if it upsets you, I'm going to share it with you. And all I ask, so if there are vegans, fruitarians, plant-based, vegetarians, sad diet, what have you, all I'm asking is, are you being honest with how you feel? Because in my experience of people coming to me, and unfortunately, because sometimes I wish it was the other way around, but it just isn't. I've had many plant-based people come to me in terrible, terrible states. And this is just the dietary, because it's the dietary thing that gets the anger, not the light and the, trauma is disease and rest in the body. It's the diet that gets everyone just causing names and getting angry. But these people that have come to me privately, obviously, have, admitted that they were not being honest, not only to themselves, but very frequently not to their partners or their lovers or their family, and especially not to the community, because it felt there was enormous pressure to conform. And that's the opposite of what we're trying to do. What we want is your truth. If you're out there eating whatever you're eating and thriving, God bless you. Well done. Good job. But if you're not, listen.
Jeremy, thank you very much. And everyone, thank you. And I will leave the link below. And if anyone of the viewers want to ask questions, they want to look into this, just get in. You've got nothing to lose. Just call Mark Attwood, call Jeremy. And I wish you all the best. Thank you very much. And we'll speak soon. God bless you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Nicholas.